Well, a last resort would be for the president to cite the 14th Amendment, which says flatly that the federal government is obligated to pay its debts. That would, of course, prompt a constitutional confrontation. It would face legal challenges because it's never been done before, and I don't think the president really wants to do that. But this is the kind of brinkmanship we're accustomed to in Washington. It happens routinely when there is a Democrat in the White House. When President Trump was in the White House, the debt ceiling was raised 3 times in his 4 years, and nobody said boo, because the Democrats really understand the perils of default. And on the Republican side, you have a lot of newly radicalized members who would consider themselves part of the MAGA coalition. And they seem to think that inviting some sort of default will force the country to face up to its debt. The Republicans have offered a number of suggestions for cuts. They don't get too specific because unless you really touch entitlement programs going out into the future, Medicare, Social Security, you really can't bring the debt under control as immediately as Republicans would like it. And so there's a concern this time that the Republican majority in the House has a very narrow majority. They can only lose 4 votes in whatever they put on the floor. And if the Speaker goes too far in trying to find accommodation with the White House, he faces possible ouster by his members. So he's walking a very narrow line. I still think there's got to be a way out of this with some artful wording. Perhaps they would pass first a package of spending cuts, and then they would pass what's called a clean debt ceiling. They would raise the limit. They wouldn't officially tie them together, but they would be tied together, and that might be enough to let both sides claim victory. And so this is where we're at. Both sides have to find something where they save face, and it's very difficult, and the clock is winding down.